Hi guys, this is Sohel, and today we'll see how to make passwords visible. That means this is a very basic feature which you might have seen in various websites in login and sign up forms, that we can make our passwords visible and hide them as well. Okay, so today we'll be using React, and inside React we will be using the useState hook here. Okay. So this like basic page which you are given initially in React. So let's make some changes here. I'll be removing this tag, and let's add an input tag here. Okay, and let's give the placeholder. Let's say password. Alright, so let's not focus on the CSS now. Okay, this video is basically based on the functionality. Alright, so now we'll be adding the button here. Let's call it show. Okay, so it's not quite visible, to be honest. Let's give some basic CSS. Okay. Let's add input here, and let's add button here. Okay, so let's add a padding of around 10 px. Okay, and margin top of 20 px. Yeah, I think this will do. Let's add another of margin left of around 10 px. I think it will be slightly visible now. Okay, all right. Now we will be using the React hooks. Okay, and today we'll be using the useState hook. Okay, so firstly we need to import them. All right, so what is useState is that I'm sure you must have done different kinds of programming languages like Java, Python, C, C++. Like, so this is kind of similar to variables, like not fully similar but kind of similar. Like useState is that you can change the state of any variable. So let's take here, let's take an example of counter. So counting is something we all have done in various kinds of programming languages. So let's use this feature first. Okay, let's give it as default value of 0. Now I'll add a on click feature here. Okay, so when the button gets clicked, let's increment the value, right? So, and I need to show it somewhere. Let's show it here. Okay, so let's give here count. All right, so if you now see that, like in here, when you press this button, the value will get increment. Okay, now let's understand the basic feature of useState. So what it does is, like, think count as a variable, and each time set count changes the state of the variable count. Okay, let's say that, like, the value 0 is the default value or the initial value stored in the variable count. Okay, now in different kinds of programming languages, what you do is you say count equals to count, like, sorry, count plus 1, or you say count plus equals 1, or there is count plus plus, or plus plus count, anything. Okay, so this is like kind of similar. So the set count updates the current value of this variable count or the current state of this variable count. That means this was 0 initially. You can like also change the initial value, let's say 100, so this will show 100. Okay, so yeah, okay. So the initial value here is 100 for the variable count, right? Now when we are clicking on this button, this function gets executed, okay? And this will become 100 plus 1, and the def and set count will update the state or the value of the variable count to 100 plus 1, which is 101. So the second time you click this button, what will happen is now the value of for count is 101, right? So this will become 101 plus 1, which is 102. So the new value will become 100. And uh, you can do this for boolean, string, numbers, and all. Okay, so that's all. Now a very basic and common feature is that how we'll be storing the input. Okay, so firstly I'll show you the type. So there are various types like password, text, submit, number. Okay, but we do use the password feature here. Now we have to use both the password and the text feature for this. Okay, and the text feature will basically show like whatever we are giving in the form of a string. So yeah, let's change this to password. So now I'll be storing the values of passwords using this hooks. Okay, and let's display here password. All right, now this won't initially show you anything here because the default value has been changed to a string. Okay, empty string rather. Now if there is any change here, I will pass it using the onChange function, and there will be an event. Okay, whenever there is a change, the event triggers, and using that I'll be updating this value of password. So how I'll be doing it is that you skip on change. Okay, so inside on change we need to pass a variable for the event. I'll be passing e here, and you will simply need to update the value for the password with whatever you are typing here. Okay, whatever you are typing here. So how will we get the updated text here? We will be getting it using e, which is the event. So the we will be getting it using e dot target dot value. So this will return as the updated value. Okay, so if we write here anything. Okay, now we have completed this one where we will be storing our passwords and all. Okay, and let's dive into the main function of the video. So we need to make some changes in the button thing. I'll be taking another state. I'll be calling this one I'll be calling this one show and set show, and let's give the use state of I'll be taking false. Why? Because it will basically be used for toggling. Okay, so what is toggling is that I'm sure you have seen websites using the collapsed sidebar. Okay, so when you click on an icon, the bar opens up, and then when you click on the close button, the bar closes. Okay, example of like the toggle feature. So I'll be using it for toggling. Okay, false and true. All right. Now what we need to do is here. So what we need to do is if the value of show is true. Okay. That means if it's true, the type will be text. Okay. And if it's false, the type will be password. This will basically be used for toggling, okay, and changing the types with the on-click functions. And here I'll say if like see this is false initially, that means initially password will be the default type, right? Now if it's false and we are clicking this button, that means we need we are toggling it, right? So it will be I'm showing you with if, because with ternary this will be like a single line thing, and it will become a bit clumsy and all. Okay, so if it's false, okay, if the value of show is false, then what you basically need to do is you need to change the state from false to true. Okay, and if it's false, okay, if it's true, okay, if it's true, then you will be needing to change it back again to false. All right. So we have pretty much completed our thing. So if we write anything by default, we get it as a password. Okay. I'll be removing this H1 thing. Okay. So we are getting this as a password, but when you click on this button, you will be getting this as a text. All right. Now another thing which you may want to do is that when we are typing here of anything, by default it will be shown as a password, right? Now when we are clicking this show button, you want to change this text to hide when the texts are shown, right? So we can do it. It's pretty simple, a similar kind of approach we will be taking. So instead of show, we will say that if, okay, if the value of show is true, that means true means the password is being shown in the form of text. That means we will be hiding it. So we will be giving the text hide, and else it will show. So that's all. So this will hide and show. So yeah, we have completed like our task, and I hope you like the video as well, and thanks for watching.